All right, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. Thank you for joining me for May the 13th release of another podcast episode that is my last month of my season 2 season. Okay, so I got this 2 more weeks left. So I'm focusing this month on business topics. I spent a lot on self-improvement, spirituality, how we connect with that, things that we deal with that's very challenging, okay, while we're on our journey here. And so I did a couple of months really focusing on different things like redemption, forgiveness, dealing with different challenges that we have to deal with to get over any emotional pain. And that actually helps us because that helps us move forward within the workplace, right? So this is what the theme is for this month as I roll out for my last episode coming up soon. So today's topic is why affirmations are the keys towards a positive workday. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. In this day, I am thankful to the prime creator of all things that I give thanks for this blessing and opportunity that I will use it for the greater good. So welcome my survivors of the journey to my podcast that aims to inspire and motivate that you will continue to have joyfulness, peace of mind, and for your sustained success. All right, let's go ahead and get into this about affirmation and why I felt that this was a good topic to this month regarding at the workplace. And number one, to start it off with important points, so that to affirm that you can change the game in the sense of what's going on while at work allows yourself to be in the driver's seat, that otherwise you have no direct control of the incident or situation at work, okay, or within a work team. So you do not have to be a bystander, but a proactive person of mental peace while at work with affirmation. Now, which affirmation is to move forward in your choices regarding your mood and future deeds. So overall, what I'm saying about the important point of using to affirm is not taking the situation. Some things that are difficult to hear, to experience, to feel. It's very, very stressful in a workplace, especially if it's a toxic environment where nobody's following the rules. Most people are selfish. Or you work in an environment that is okay, it's not really toxic, but you're dealing with very difficult customers or clients, and you have to bring yourself back up. Don't stay down in the sense that you can't get out from under that. So my wisdom point is that our ability to affirm allows the chance to choose a different path with effort, which effort is key within life, because without effort, nothing grows. Okay. To obtain the joyfulness in our hearts and peace of mind, we have to be able to willing to fight through those blocks of negativity that you can experience on a daily basis at most places, and affirm that you will not only get over this, right? You're going to aspire to continue on your path to achieve the goodness that you can either at your job or thereafter, right? Your personal life. But for right now, we're going to look at this as why. So affirmation gives us hope, and with hope we have the strength to chart a new path of the ordinary to something different, as well as it is a powerful mechanism to use that can change the work environment, okay, that directly impacts you. To affirm is to give a new position in handling situations that are difficult to endure forward at work. Affirmation basically allows you to say, I'm not going to let this bring me down. I'm not going to let this take me down. I'm not going to allow this take away my happiness. Okay, it's a sad event. This didn't get done. That was a mistake. Maybe the person of authority or whatever is screaming at you, which I need to do a podcast about that. When you're in the workplace and you're in authority, you can't lose your temper. You might be justified to lose your temper. You just have to be firm in your words. You have to scream it out in a private way, but you can't do it. But for those that's why everybody can't be a manager. That's why everybody can't. It's like everybody can't be a quarterback on a football team. Okay, everybody can't be it, and you can't do that because everybody can't take it. It is an emotional abuse. All right, so you have to find a way that you can communicate in firmness. Direct eye contact, the words that you choose. You got to increase your vocabulary. Okay, and we want to think about the other person that is experiencing that yelling and screaming because of a mistake that they made. It's painful because, and I'm still focused on staying on the workplace, but I did previous podcasts about emotional pain. And emotional pain, basically in a nutshell, is dealing with issues from our past, particularly our childhood. And you don't know that you could be part of that pattern of remembrance of what happened previously. Maybe it's not their childhood, maybe it's their teenage years, heck, maybe it's their recent relationship. I don't know. But sometimes in the workplace, I always feel that it kind of reinforces things that's going on in your life, or it's a trigger point that you really can't deal with that right now, but yet this person is of authority screaming at you like you some child and can't hold it together. Yes, I made a mistake, but it's a procedural way. That's one thing I do like about corporate Fortune 500 companies. Everything is a procedure, right? To give you time to decide if this is right for me, or they can give you time like, I don't think it's a good fit, or maybe it is, right? But you cannot lose it. And when you do, the other person can feel depressed, can feel worthless. They value, which I'm a stickler for that, meaning that I don't like that at all. You don't devalue someone by the words that you speak when it's a mistake, right? That comes from another manifestation someplace else. So my recent point on that is that our ability to affirm others the chance to choose a different path with effort, which effort is the key within life. We ourselves have to put in the effort to communicate in a way that you're not tearing someone down, because when that happens, they have to come up from that negative experience, or that very unpleasant experience, I should say. But it's one of the keys that you have to hold on to. You have to put in the effort. The person is being screamed at, or the person's having a bad day, or whatever, everything's going wrong, some is their fault, some is not, to be able to, even though that's going on, you can still affirm to come out of that, right? I'm gonna still get back up, and I'm gonna get that bad or what have you, I'm gonna swing it, or I'm gonna position myself when that ball comes, I'm going to kick it with all my might. So why is this so? Well, affirmation gives us hope, as I mentioned earlier, and with hope we have the strength to chart a new path of the ordinary to something different, as well as it's a powerful change. So overall, who are we referring to is that this is a two-part sub-segment of the who. Who are we talking about? Is first that the who is referencing what needs to be, who needs to actually do the affirmation. The person is, everybody really, right? Not just the leader, but the person that is getting yelled at or whatever, or having a bad day or made a mistake. All of us has to do affirmation. I have to do affirmation. Heck, sometimes I be like, oh my goodness, it's this, don't really want this going on, and I have to focus because we're human. Everybody's not perfect, and that's how you continue to learn, continue to grow. All of us, that's who I'm talking about, needs the affirmation. If I don't use affirmation, it's just a very unhappy place, and I like to be happy. I like everybody to be happy. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because I feel like everybody has the opportunity to be happy. Now, our deeds dictate the happiness meter. You are in control of that. No one else is. But at the end of the day, the purpose of everyone's supposed to be happy and have a peace of mind. The ones that don't, some choices that were made wasn't in an alignment to the circle of life, which to me, it makes everything in balance. So it projects what it has to be. Now, when it's not in alignment, we feel that stress can rise, and over time, what you didn't see, how stress can harm you when we don't do affirmation, talk our way out of it positively. Over time, it can affect your physical self, the way you eat, you don't eat, certain foods that you eat that you shouldn't, you're craving for this and craving for that, extra sleep or whatever, you don't want to sleep, whatever. It's all around circle, and we have to learn to talk it out. Sometimes you can't talk to your friend out for 5 hours at work. You got to get back to work, so you got to find your own way. So secondly, I want to say regarding the who needs affirmation is that the triggers need for affirmation is that things happen sometimes unexpectedly. It's a higher level of awareness and implication when you do affirmation to make a statement. I will get through this. I will be able to survive. I made a mistake here. I'm going to try again on this next project or this next call to the client or what have you. It changes your mood to a positive type outlook that benefits everyone. And let's just talk about some of those triggers that could happen at work. Like I said earlier, it could be customers, clients, manager, vendors. Bottom line is the interaction primarily is the causes that need or that can create a negative day, that you need to use affirmation to get through it, to manage the stress, because it can rise very quickly and impact your whole mood, right? And you want to be able to recreate you want to be able to reposition yourself to a better position, a better way of handling the next series of work that's coming your way. So what are some scenarios, as I mentioned earlier, that you can reinforce the uses of the power of affirmation? Let's say when a client wants more than what you are able in your power to give, and increase their aggressiveness or refusal to accept the line of reasoning, thus blaming you, you can say, my purpose is here to help you, and I will do all that I am able to do within my means. I just ask you give me the opportunity to at least try, or to at least do. And you kind of phrase it that way. You're actually affirming the truth about what you really to do, what you can do, and and what you can do really helps. And then you put it to them. Sometimes that works, sometimes it don't, because some people is just, they're stuck in their ways and they don't want to do it. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's the nurturing of how you feeling, that you have to claim it. That's what affirmation is. You got to claim the positivity for you to move forward amongst the wall of negativity. You crawl right on over that wall. I'm doing the best that I can. Give me an opportunity to do it, and I will. If it can't be done, I ask you to work with me so we can come to some resolution, basically to accept if this is the best that we have to offer at this time. Another thing could be when the manager asks more of you that a normal human could possibly do. Thus, you have to push yourself more to endure and stuff down your feelings of displeasure about it. Okay, an affirmation for that could be, within my means, I'm going to do my best to get it done. You could keep it simple and short, because within your means, you can't do more than what you have, and you will go insane to do more that you can't do. And that's where you can list these. The reason why this didn't get done is because it required 3 people. All right, the other thing is where you're looking at statistical data. Like I need to do a podcast about that, about all these numbers and statistical information. It's all over the place. This is kind of crazy, but at any rate, sometimes it's hard to come against that, because you constantly have to answer why it's 3 points off or 5 points here, and why this percentage there. And in those retrospects, you're basically going to do what I guess was saying earlier in this podcast, is this reinforce what you're willing to, or what you are able to contribute to the team, and you can put your best effort in. And sometimes those types of meetups can be very demeaning, rejecting, limiting, but you don't feed all into that. You listen, and every time you have to respond back and to yourself, I'm putting my best effort forward. There's always opportunity for growth, and I'm looking forward to that challenge as I take one moment, one segment, one grid or graph at a time. Right? Because bigger expectations is always hard to accept when you don't meet it. But setting the right expectations is easy to go through it and feel more comfortable about it if it does give you the results that you suggest, right? So the last one is what I want to talk about is hostile customers. Those are difficult because you're kind of in a box, especially when they are passive aggressive or aggressive, bullying you, saying stuff, demeaning you, calling you this and that. It's awful. And with those things, that's a company call. But to me, if as management is listening to this podcast, you need to make a policy, or I hope that you would consider to make a policy that the employee has the right, if they feel that the conversation is abusive from a client or customer, that they can politely say, if you continue to use foul language, if you continue to scream, right? If you continue to call me names, I will have to end the call. And they should be able to do that with no negative recourse, because you got to think about it. That person got to pick up another call. That person got to do another project. That person got to deal with another client. That person, you know what I'm saying? And we have to look at the mental health of employees, which, by the way, that's another podcast episode I need to do. Mental health is very important in the workplace, and management needs to be aware of that and taking off that stress and putting them not just in a box for them to deal with it. Then don't worry, it's not a good strategy. So it helps for the customer or the employee to state that affirmation, and the customer to know that this company, we play by respect. Okay, and by allowing them to say that statement, they are affirming that they respect themselves, they respect the protocol of good business and the responsibility of being an adult at the end of the day. So what are the strategies to succeed? Let's get to that segment. And I like to say that you can use affirmation as a way to turn a negative workday into a positive one, entails that you're using at least one good one and you repeat it. Remembering in our physical state of keeping healthy and fit, there's constant regularity of doing such an activity to lose or even tone up the body. So we do not become overweight to fit the overall projected goals that we want to live a happy life, live a healthy life. So using a strong affirmation repeatedly can reinforce those muscles of self high value and respect, and that mental and spiritual type reinforcement to remember at the end of the day you are human. At the end of the day you are capable of great things that help other people. You have talent that helps you to turn around that negativity, to make those short statements. I'm only human, I can only do this and that, and I'm willing to put in the effort that I need to do to get it done. And no matter what happens, I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm going to continue to, do my best, learn as much as I can, put all my effort in. That's all that you can do. And that helps you to be stronger. So create your one good statement that when you say it, you feel good about yourself. It's an empowerment. And if you haven't really had one and you're just writing one down, you're taking some that I said today, use that and you keep saying it. And you visualize when you say it that it gives you that inner strength and that glow and that positivity, and that you're not sitting there stressed out or worrying about this or that, and you're feeling good to move forward. So your task to Dusk to Dawn is that you do not focus on the negativity of the incident that happened over and over. Instead, you use an affirmation to stop those feelings, that stress event that happened at work or is going on or what have you. And you have to say, this moment will move on and I will not be forever defined by it. You can also say that I am someone of value and importance within the team to work for the betterment of the core vision, and I am somebody of worth, and I will assure that respect and appreciation is restored. Words are triggers, but my response is more powerful to rise above. Okay, and I think I'm going to copy this, if I remember here, I'll copy this and put this in the podcast description of some of those statements I just said. And your task to Dusk to Dawn is a way that you have to continue to repeat. So this is kind of correlating to the strategy to succeed. Practice saying it every day. Say it in the morning, say it in the afternoon, say it before you eat your dinner. And that gives you that positivity. Say it when you're doing something that you really enjoy and love. So that's even more powerful, because when you say it at work, you're going to remember where you were when you thought of, this is going to be my number one affirmation statement, or this is when I normally say it when I'm in my garden, or I'm reading before I read a book or something like that, or before I say my prayer. Heck, if you have a good prayer, say that. You got to do anything you could do when you in a workplace. Do it. Those are just some affirmations that I had to share, and you could choose what works for you to give you the wisdom and awareness to see over the negative wave that can engulf you at work and overwhelm you, so you can believe that it is a possibility to turn a negative day into a positive work day. So your motivational takeaway today is that we must affirm, own new outlook of the work situation to the next moment forward that uplifts us with hope and promise for a better day. Thank you. For joining me for my podcast episode from my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey to Success, just to give you some information to not only stay in contact, but with the other things that I offer. I provide career consultation, offering the first 30 minutes are free. Thereafter, there is a fee access afterwards per hour and can be discussed on a case-by-case basis depending on your need. So if it is an emergency and you need some consultation regarding your career or choices that you're about to make moving forward, in a sense, in your personal type objectives, then you can definitely contact me. The primary way to contact me is by email, which is info@nichelanderson.com. Now, I do have a toll-free number on my website. Now, that is actually only for webinars. When I'm doing like a free webinar and you're calling in, once that number is through that medium, and it's only really for that, so it's not really connected to me directly. Now I am working on that, but for right now it's not really, and when that change, you would definitely get a notice of that to go forward. So just to recap, my primary way is info@nichelanderson.com. All right, so the other thing I want to share with you is that I also provide business courses and self-improvement courses. So that overall objective is to help you to create strategies that work for you, to get you motivated, to identify the ways to get your or keep your joy and your mental peace. So I do provide that on the basis of your objective to gain success, and as I like to say, sustain success. You can find information on my courses that I release on my official website, which is www.nichelanderson.com, and you can go there and you can look at the different courses that I am releasing that are available. These courses are self-paced. They will be identified if they're considered to be like live sessions on a regular basis, but for the most part they are self-paced. During that time, I do have live sessions that once you have signed up for the course, you will see that in the schedule of what days that I'm available live, that you can talk to me and we can go over the courses going forward, right, on those particular topics. So that information is basically on my website that you can go to, which is nichelanderson.com. Now, I want to do a special call out for listeners that I have seen in my stats that are following me, continue to follow me, which I am thankful for. Now, to get connected more, to stay connected, I'm asking you to consider to join my newsletter that I do send out. And to do that, you just have to submit, of course, your name and your email. I don't spam. You could always request to be taken off the list. I don't send thousands of emails because I don't like thousands of emails from a particular source. So I keep it in a way that's informative, of course, because obviously you like the content because you hear and you enjoy it and you're getting something from it, which pleases me. To expand that and to move forward and to get into other ways that I can expand what I'm trying to do is to form a newsletter, to get that set up in the sense that I'm communicating that I can send that out more quickly, actually, through a podcast or any type of thing or production that I'm doing, where a newsletter is more, in the sense, faster to get that contact and to send it out on blast, right? And more opportunity to send more content compared to like social media characters to be able to get that message out. So do consider that to join my newsletter by providing, and you can find that link at the end of each episode. I have that link to basically to sign up here for Nichel E-List Tips newsletter. And you could do that and you can see that and click, and it's a short form, online form. It is secured and you can complete that. All right, the other thing I want to talk about is basically to subscribe to this podcast. If you haven't, please go ahead. Of course, this is going through Podbean. I have 2 podcasts. This one, of course, you're listening to is Surviving Your Journey to Success. And you can subscribe. Of course, you should see the subscribe button here at the bottom of this episode or at the top, whichever device that you're using. Now, I'm also available on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, on Google Play, on iTunes, and any other podcast directories for feed distribution. You can connect that way and subscribe. And if you like it, share it. Now, I am on social media, and so you do hear me a lot talk about Twitter. I'm mostly active on Twitter. I'm also active on Facebook. For the most part right now is Twitter, and I like the whole concept of keeping it short and sweet. In my closing, I want to say thank you again for joining me today. Here is my closing statement for you. Be you that strengthens and inspires your ability to be strong in your journey endeavor. It's a good thing towards your mental peace and joy, always to your success.